Welcome back to the D2C Slingshot podcast. I'm your host, Lachie Thompson, and I'm also the founder of Social Slingshot, a paid advertising agency. This podcast is your go-to resource for entrepreneurs seeking insights from industry leaders and experts. If you have magically stumbled across this podcast, then I'm truly grateful that you've chosen to listen. If you have any specific questions or topics you'd like us to cover, then don't hesitate to reach out to me on Instagram at Lachie Social Slingshot. While this podcast is tailored to the broader e-commerce community, if you are ever in need of direct marketing assistance, then Social Slingshot is here to help. Our mission is to drive as much success for as many e-commerce brands as possible by being the most results-driven and client-focused agency on the market. Now, with all that boring admin stuff taken care of, let's jump into today's episode. G'day everyone, welcome back to the podcast. Today I'm joined with Georgette, the founder of Skygazer, not Skygazer for everybody out there, Skygazer, don't mix that up like I did just before we started recording. But yeah, Georgette, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
No worries. Well, let's jump straight into it and get started. Do you just want to tell us a little bit about who you are and why you started the brand?
Yes, well, obviously my name's Georgie. I moved actually from London about 6 years ago, and I started the brand because when I first initially moved here, I knew that there was, I was going to the beach for the first time in my life, and ones without pebbles. So I realised that sand was a big problem, and taking my 3 kids to the beach meant lots of lugging around heavy towels and stuff. So I thought, God, there's got to be a better way than this. So I started working with a textile developer, and we founded a sand resist fabric. And then we started using a type of waffle weave, and it obviously, that's how the business started, but it's gone on from there since then.
Yeah, for sure. And nowadays I see like sand-free towels everywhere. I went to a holiday to Vanuatu and my partner's mother gave us some, and like I didn't realize what they were until I actually used it. I was like, oh my God, this is so light. There's no sand
Game
anywhere.
changer.
And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
what the hell is this? And then we had to give them back. So yeah, now I need to
that
go
was a
buy
shame.
some. But yeah, so obviously you must have got into that scene pretty early, because I've only really noticed them taking off in the last couple of years. So you started around 2018. You just want to tell me how you come across that idea?
Yeah, so I did have another business in the UK, and I went on the British version of Shark Tank, so it was called Dragon's Den, and I got investment actually, and I kind of met some people during that process, and I was saying that I'm intending to move to Australia, and we were just sort of thinking about what we could possibly do together. Anyway, they never end up coming on board. And when I moved to Australia, I literally landed, and within about 3 or 4 weeks, I had a website. I knew exactly what I was doing. I'd already had all my samples sent to me in Australia, and I started selling just at the local market in Sunshine Coast. And just from there, I got people approaching me and saying, oh, we've got a shop in XYZ, places I'd never heard of before because I'd literally just moved here. And would you be interested in selling to us? And I was thinking, oh, I'd never really thought about this. All I wanted was a bit of extra cash to be able to fly back and see my family. But it just kind of snowballed. I'd never kind of imagined in a million years that I would be, doing what I'm doing now.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. Now, what were you doing before you got into the online business scene?
Well, I was in the city. I was trading for about 20 years. And then I was fed up with that because I was basically I love inventing products and products that solve a problem. And so I'd just be sitting there sketching all these different products. And I launched a website. It was called The Present Club. And it was basically an online whip round for children. So rather than children receive lots of small presents, they'd receive maybe a trip to Euro Disney or a bike or a trampoline. And it made it easier for the parents who may be attending a party or something to just click and contribute. But this was back in 2008, I think. So it was very early on, and everything was so expensive to build. And I got investment from, there was 2 dragons called Peter Jones and Theo Paphitis, and they came on board. And we made the site profitable, but not profitable enough to keep it going really. So yeah, it didn't work out. But I think because especially in those Shark Tank and Dragon's Den scenarios, what happens is once you've spent your initial funding, you have to show that you've turned over enough to actually warrant having more, and it wasn't really there. I think we were trying to, even though we were solving a problem, we were actually trying to solve people's shopping habits, and that takes a lot of money. A lot of money.
Mhm. Yeah. To me, that sounds like an awesome idea because I'm always
Yeah,
chasing my family or my friends for money to put into a present,
I
whether it's for
know.
a 21st or a wedding gift or whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe one day down the track you can
I know,
restock it
it's
up.
actually heartbreaking because when I look back at all the work I did, and you learn from these things, and I just, it was a bit of a bad time because as we just launched the website, apps started coming out, and then we didn't have enough money for the app, and it was a
Mm.
bit of a bad time in that kind of way. But yeah, you learn, and that's what I've taken from that. All the experience from that.
Yeah, for sure. What was one of the most valuable lessons you learnt by going through that process?
Um, I think it was to take it and just if you fail, then don't let it um, go on from there. Don't get worried about starting again and doing something different. Just turn it into a positive.
Yeah, for sure. And that's definitely what you've done with this new brand. So
Yeah.
obviously you've been going for quite a while now. You first started at the markets. Did you start building off the base on wholesale, or was it more the online store and then the
No.
wholesale followed?
So yeah, I carried on doing the markets, and then I did one exhibition in Brisbane, and I think I've got about 7 or 8 stockists from that, and then it just kind of snowballed, and I just get contacted regularly about selling the products, which is great, and I don't, so it's grown organically. I haven't pushed it. And the reason I haven't pushed it so much and doing events and time again is because you need a lot of funding to do wholesale, and I think if you just grow organically, then you've hopefully got the money there, whereas if you go wham, I'm going to go and go to an event and have maybe 100 people come up to me and say I want to sell your products, that's a game changing amount of money to like invest in stock, and then I'm not selling it for myself. So yeah, I've just taken it slowly on that front because it could turn out very badly if you don't nurture the customers that I have now.
Yeah. And like you've obviously built that up over the years. Now you have over 300 stockers in Australia. So that's quite a lot. What are some
Mm.
of the difficulties you have with having that many wholesalers?
Um, it's basically investing money in stock. It's cash flow basically. So and you want them to be happy, and to be honest, we don't get a lot of faults or anything like that, so that's not an issue. Boxes go missing in the post. That's always an issue. Drives me insane. And yeah, it's just the cash flow. That's the biggest problem.
Yeah. And how are you managing that at the moment? Like, do you have any sort of like risk off strategies or something like that that possibly newer people could get some insight from, or is that something that
Yeah,
you
no, I'm just all in. I'm all in.
just fail forward, hey?
Yeah, let's just throw it
Hope
in.
it
And
turns out.
yeah, I mean, I had a successful career before, so it wasn't like I needed to go and look for funding. I was still self-funded, so yeah, it's not a problem, and it's good that way because then you kind of know exactly what you have. There's no worry with interest rates, and
Yeah.
especially where we are at the moment with interest rates, you could be in a bit of bother. So yeah, I've been lucky in that way.
Yeah, for sure. And then obviously you want to push organically and sell through your own website. And when I looked at your social media, obviously it's amazing. Like you've got such good content on there, lots of UGC, even you filming products as well. What's I guess what are some strategies you're using at the moment to help grow your audience and your sales?
I've really upped my game on the social media. Mainly, I've hidden behind the computer for 6 years, and I know that the world we're living in with marketing has changed so much that I knew that I had to start coming forward and explaining what we're about. And the only way to do it really is to be that person, which I don't like, and I'm really getting used to it. But yeah, our slogan is basically lifestyle essentials reimagined. So it's always a lifestyle product that's taking away a problem and reinventing it in a small or better looking way. So yeah, that's where I'm sort of upping my game with social media, but I'm also doing a lot of giveaways. I'm showcasing stockists once a month. I'm what else am I doing? Yeah, lots of I've started up affiliate marketing. So if there's affiliate marketers out there, be willing to speak to you. And also, yeah, UGCs, influencers, bit of everything really. And we're in America as well, so I'm doing the same over there.
Yeah, how has that transition been from from Australia to the US?
I've had an absolute disaster. I've done it the first time I did it. I didn't have my own website, and I started selling on Amazon. And the most heartbreaking moment was probably 2019, and I'd literally just landed a load of towels there. And I started selling on FBA, which is the fulfillment by Amazon, and I had a marketing campaign manager to help me out, because selling on Amazon is a whole nother level. It's a whole nother job. I don't do it anymore for this reason. But
I think the last three guests that have come on the podcast is like, we started on Amazon, now we're trying to get out of Amazon.
oh my God, it is literally, things change so often. You have to be up to scratch with what their policies are. But what happened was, I started speaking to influencers while selling my products on Amazon, and the influencers said to me, "Can you give me 100% off code so I can, get the product, and then I can do some marketing for you?" And I was like, "Fantastic!" So I said to the marketing campaign manager, "Can you provide a 100% off code, and I can give it to the influencers?" He said, "Yep, not a problem." Gave me the code. What he didn't realize was that there's probably loads of Amazon people speaking out there going, "Oh my God, you didn't do that." But what happens
I can
is,
already see where this is going. I haven't heard this story yet, and
yeah,
I
no, what
can
happens
put
is
their
the
idea.
code gets published on the product page. So overnight, I turned on my phone, and my phone was going bing, 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 bing. And I was thinking, what's that noise? And got to it, and I was all these sales. I was like, "Oh my God, we've just gone mad in America. What's happened?" And I was looking, and I still couldn't work out what had happened. And it took me an hour or so to realize that the product, yeah, everyone had bought them all for free. And not only had they been sold for free, I actually had a big postage bill at the end of it. I was just, just this stuff is just like unbelievable. And then after that, I left the US for a couple of years. It took me a couple of years to rebuild my confidence, and it's only now that I've started to go back to it. But yeah, just because a lot of the products are seasonal, and I want to kind of capture that market in the US as well.
Yeah, that makes total sense. But yeah, obviously, as soon as you figured out what the problem was, it wasn't a success story.
No.
What was your next move, and how'd you deal with that?
So I straight away, I was a bestseller, which is completely ironic. It's just ridiculous. So I then spun it that we were bestsellers on Amazon in the US, and I managed to get some extra towels out there, fly some towels out there, and say we're USA bestsellers, and then we got some more sales from that to try and compensate for what we'd lost. And we got quite a few
So
good.
once those orders were put in, there was no way to sort of resolve that issue, saying,
No,
it's a mistake.
um, there would have been potentially, had I not been in an area with no Wi-Fi. So I was camping, and my phone was sporadic Wi-Fi, and I was trying to call people who, because I worked alone, there's no one to call, to try and cancel it. I couldn't get a phone signal, I couldn't get Wi-Fi. It was like the worst kind of like almost panic attack that I'd had. And I only had a matter of a couple of hours to cancel the orders as well at that point, because they'd sold in the middle of the night, and I'd received the messages, like 10 hours later or something like that. It was a perfect storm for a disaster, to be honest.
Yeah, what a nightmare. How many orders actually come through?
1,200.
Jesus. So
Yeah.
people spread the word pretty quickly.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so nice of them.
Yeah. So wow, that's an incredible story.
Yeah.
Hopefully that never happens again. I'm sure the same mistake won't be made.
Just be careful with product codes, people.
Yeah, for sure. So obviously you've gone back into the US now. How's the second experience been?
Yes, I mean we're right at the start of the journey, so yes, it's been good, but it's watch this space, hopefully.
Yeah, for sure. So obviously you're busy. You've got 3 kids yourself, and you're managing this online business with international expansion. What does sort of your day-to-day look like, and how do you get through it? Obviously, a lot of coffee.
Yeah, tea
or whatever you're drinking.
I only drink tea.
Yeah.
What does my day-to-day look like? So I usually awake at 6. I try and sort out any customer service emails, and then answer any other kind of product development emails, which takes me to around 9 o'clock. I don't have to do the scoring anymore because my oldest is driving. Yes. And then I usually do some exercise, some Pilates or something like that. And if I'm feeling particularly brave, I will go for a swim, mainly in the winter. I mean, I'll go in the summer, obviously, but like even in the winter, if I'm feeling a little bit anxious or I'm feeling, like I just want to sort of calm down the nervous system a little bit, I'll go for a cold swim. And then
it's still like a spa up there, isn't it? Up in the Sunshine
It's
Coast.
warm. I'm talking actually about my pool. But yeah,
okay.
yeah, but yeah, no, it is
Not as cold as back home, I'm sure.
No. And I'm terrible at knowing when to stop working. So I literally will work to about 10 o'clock at night, which is a bit sad, really. I need to, and pretty much 6 to 7 days a week. So I am learning how to stop that, because obviously you only get one life, and I just feel like I'm at a bit of a pivotal moment, and I think that I need to kind of ride the wave a bit. So yeah, I struggle with not when to work, but yeah, work in progress.
Yeah, you go through seasons as a business owner. Hey, sometimes there's grind seasons, and then other ones you're sitting back, maybe sipping on a cocktail somewhere, hopefully at some stage.
Yeah, well, funnily enough, I met up with our accountant yesterday, and taking a look at the numbers for the amount of work I put in mid-year, it's probably just not worth the while doing it. I could literally just do 5 months a year and just go and enjoy life the rest of it. That was just something I've been thinking about.
You've got a really seasonal product. Hey, how do you manage those times? You go from probably, I imagine, the highest of highs in summer, and then in winter it'd get pretty dark and lonely.
Yeah, so even though I feel like I'm busier now because product development is taking up most of my time, because obviously sales don't take up I have a warehouse that does all that for me. So actually sales, I'm not too I'm not too much focused on that, but the product development is when I'm busy. So now I'm spending a lot of hours doing that. But I think, to be honest, once I've done the product development, I will try and slow down, she says.
Yeah, cool. Have you got any trips in mind or planned? Maybe you're visiting back home or something? Or?
Yes, every year I go back to London, so I'm going in a couple of weeks. I'm off on a girls' booze cruise on Friday with the school mums, which will be fabulous. We've got T-shirts that says "Let's get shit-faced," very classy stuff. And where else are we going? Oh yeah, we're going to Poland. Just
Yeah.
places I haven't been. I always try and go one place I haven't been. So we're going to Poland. We're going to go to Auschwitz. We're going to go and do some different stuff that we've never done before, and somewhere I've always wanted to go and visit.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. That sounds like my type of vibe as well. I always
Yeah,
like going to new places and not repeating something. Like,
yeah.
I can't even watch the same TV show twice,
No, me
whereas my
neither.
girlfriend's the same. She'll just rewatch the same movies from her childhood over and over again.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like,
No, I can't
stop
do
that.
that.
And
No.
she's a primary school teacher, so I think she was a bit hungover the other day. She'll appreciate you saying this. And then she she watched one of the latest movies that all the kids were talking about at school. So
Oh, bless her.
yeah.
It's horses for courses. But yeah, I'm trying to get away from just seasonal products. That's where I was going with that conversation. I've created
Yeah.
a new patent coffee cup. So it's patent protected. So that will come out probably in a few months. And yeah, I've got some other products that are not so seasonal, which will be, yeah, I can't wait to showcase. Very exciting.
Yeah, the
It will
pattern
literally change the
sounds pretty
face of the
exciting.
business.
Yeah.
Yeah, it will change the face of the business, and so I won't be so seasonal, which is where I want to be really.
Is this your first time getting a patented product, or?
Yes, it is. Yes, yeah,
Yeah, pretty exciting. And from what I've
yeah,
heard, it's a pretty long and drawn out process.
yeah. And there is a school of thought that's not worth doing because otherwise you'll have to sue everyone who does, who goes on, like who
Yeah.
flies close to the wind with your patent and stuff. So yeah, it's it's a long drawn out process.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure it'll be worth it. You've got some pretty successful marketing strategies behind you. You told me that your highest monthly sales is over $500,000 per month. You just want to run me through some of those strategies that led up to that absolute peak?
Yeah, that's not all online. So that's probably an even split between wholesale, online, and pop-ups. So I do pop-ups all through Queensland, and I go from 0 staff to 50 staff, and yeah, so like it's ridiculous. And those few weeks in like the Westfields and all the different like local shopping centres, I'm interviewing for staff, and yeah, just basically up and down in a truck throughout the sort of the southeast part of Queensland, just delivering stock, and that's the other third.
Yeah, absolutely hectic time. I
Yeah,
think
it's
most business
ridiculous.
owners hate hiring at the best of times, let alone hiring 50 for a season. So
Yeah,
how do
50
you
for a
go how do you
season.
go
Yeah.
with that? How do you go with that? Obviously, it's a big
I've got
workload.
some of the same staff from like 4 years ago. So I've got WhatsApp groups with them all, and I just come on and say who's up for this year, and then they usually come back. But I started off initially going to the universities because they're
Yeah.
obviously all on break, and yeah, trying to get my head around, like the award systems and the bookkeeping on and the PA, not PAYE, the super, yeah, especially learning that coming from England. I didn't have a clue even what a super was, like I didn't know it was mandatory. I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been a learning curve. Everything.
Yeah. So what do you look for when you're hiring? Is it pretty much just who can rock up, or are you looking for specific personality traits, or what are you looking for when you're hiring somebody?
Just people that are presentable, who are not on their phone the whole time. You kind of have to guess at that. You kind of say like, don't be on your phone, because there's obviously times where people walk away and then they like pick up their phone. It's just like a natural thing.
Yeah, TikTok's probably had a major impact on that as well.
Yeah, exactly. Just that's what I'm like. I can get them to do some TikToks while they're on the pop-ups. That's a good call, actually.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, get
Yes,
them doing it. Like, do the
yeah,
street interviews. Just
yeah,
instead of them scrolling, just get them to start making content for you.
yeah. That's a really good idea. And then yeah, it's just a bit of a process. There's not like it doesn't suit everyone. So a lot of people are going away at Christmas time. So
Yeah,
sometimes it is slim pickings because there's a small pool to choose from, because they might have like part-time jobs that are actually have more hours than mine. So yeah, just have to just be a little bit careful about who I employ. But to be honest, how bad can they be? It's like a 3-week period, even if they're really bad, you just go with it and roll with the punches for 3 weeks.
Yeah, and you got a pretty sellable product during that time. It's like anyone that walks up to the stand, they don't need much selling, do they?
No, it's great because it captures the people that have not shopped for Black Friday, which has become such a massive phenomenon now. So everyone, they're all practical products. So if there's no kind of will she or won't she like it. It's kind of like, everyone needs a beach towel, and pretty much everyone, needs like a beach bag, or it will pretty
umbrella
much
for
anyway.
Sure. I'm sure everyone out there has been to the beach and got burnt to a crisp.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for sure. So what were some other sort of pivotal moments within your business?
Featuring in Vogue, that was definitely up there. I've been in Women's Health. They did an article on me because I had breast cancer. So they interviewed me how I was dealing with it during my breast cancer diagnosis and treatment. And that was great because it raised a lot of awareness. And that was a bit of a struggle. That was just a couple of years ago. So still ongoing with parts of my treatment and stuff. So so that was a highlight and a low light, being in Vogue, but being in Women's Health for Cancer.
Yeah. I guess it would have been good to get it out there and tell your story and share it, because I imagine like you're a single mother, right? Like
No, I have a husband.
Oh,
yeah.
Where did I get that from? I was like,
he's upstairs. He's working.
Oh, okay. I might just cut that bit out and make him look good. But where did I see that then? Maybe
I don't know.
Female-led founder, or I don't know where I got that from. Business solo, 3 kids. So that's where I got it from. So,
okay.
Sorry about that,
No, that's all right. No, that's good.
Yeah. So, obviously to get that off your chest, and now I see you using that, like obviously as social proof across your website and your socials. How did that impact your sales at the time when it launched in those magazines?
Oh, it was amazing because it was, we were their top pick, and they do like 10 best gifts and 10 best stylish beach towels and stuff. And so I'm not sure of the instant sort of ramifications of that, but it was just the social proofing was just so positive, and there was lots of comments, and and it's hard to know how well it increased sales, to be honest, because it was Christmas time, so who really knows? I don't really know how you can measure it.
During that time.
Yeah,
that's not like TikTok goes viral overnight and all of a sudden you've got 5,000 orders to
I'm trying to get my 3 kids to do something, but I must have the only children who are like, I don't want a digital footprint. Not even for me. Not even to make us go viral. No, nothing. They don't want a photograph. They don't want to be on video. Nothing.
Yeah, okay. That is a bit strange because, I'm sort of at the higher end of that age bracket, but most of my friends probably don't like getting in front of the camera and that sort of thing. They're a bit shy to, and it's the same with a lot of business owners. They're shy in the beginning, but like you said earlier, once you get the ball rolling and you practice a little bit, you do get more confident with it and you do get better. When I first started, I couldn't even record a voice note.
Really?
That's how bad I was,
And I'm not joking.
Yeah,
I'm sure I'll work it out.
Yeah, so a voice note, like you just click, like you send a voice note to your mates and stuff like that. I couldn't even hear my voice playing back to me because you sound completely different on the recording compared to what I'm hearing now out of my mouth.
I know what you're talking about. They do it to me, but I always wondered how to do it back.
All right, we won't speak about any ages or anything like this anymore, so we'll move on to the next one. But obviously we're coming to the end of this podcast, unfortunately, but just before you do get off, do you want to leave anybody with any sort of advice for how to run a business, or maybe something that's really helped you keep going through all those tough times?
Yeah, don't look at turnover because that can be quite overwhelming. Just look at the profit, like that's where I've kind of started looking more at the profit, how I can get my profit up, not my turnover, like how I can increase the average order value, how I can give away free gifts, try and to try and get that sales the value up to increase your profit but not worry so much about the turnover side of things, because people and competitors could be turning over so much more than you, but really don't work harder to earn the same amount.
Yeah.
That's what I've really taken away, and that's what goes back to what I was saying earlier about how I feel like I could potentially just turn off my business for 5 months and actually have the best 5 months, go traveling and everything, and then come back and get into the nitty gritty. And it wouldn't, it'd still work, if as long as I kept my socials going a little bit and stuff like that, I'm very up for that. As I'm getting
Yeah,
older.
yeah, yeah. It definitely sounds like something you need to look into, whether you hire
Yeah.
a VA or somebody to manage it while you go off traveling, because you've built a business to where it is today. And like you said, you could maybe possibly afford some of those luxuries that all business owners aspire to do, right?
Yeah.
So that's why we all started in the beginning, is to have that time and financial freedom. So
Yeah.
yeah, you
That's
might as
it.
well
Just
enjoy it if you can.
passive
No
all the
point slaving
way.
away every day.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely
cool.
celebrate passive income. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, some good tips there. So, yeah, I just wanted to thank you again for coming on. You just want to give a quick shout out to your socials and where people can interact with you and your
Oh, thank
business.
you. So the website is skygazerculture.com, and our socials are at Skygazer And we've got TikTok as well, which I'm just learning how to get ahead. So yeah, please follow me.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks so much for coming on today. I'm sure everybody enjoyed it, and we'll see everybody on the next episode.
Brilliant. Thanks, Lachie. Cheers.
Hey, D2C Slingshot listeners, unfortunately today's episode has come to an end. If you did make it this far, I'm pretty sure you enjoyed the episode, so make sure to smash the like, follow, or even subscribe button. Any feedback or engagement really does help us grow. Now, if you do have any questions or insights that you would like to share, then message me on Instagram at Lachie Social Slingshot. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you on the next one.